gas, indigestion, stomach pain? Do you have problems with irritable bowel? One day you're constipated, next day maybe you have loose bowel movements, have diarrhea. If so, you want to listen up because I'm going to share with you some tried and true remedies for these conditions. Once you start having problems with heartburn or gastroesophageal reflux disease, you start having issues with reflux, you're often told by a gastroenterologist or your family practitioner that you have too much stomach acid, and that's causing the burning sensation that you might be feeling up here in your throat. Well, that's not always true. In fact, usually it's not true. It's not that you have too much stomach acid. It's actually that you don't have enough. Wait a minute. I know this doesn't sound appropriate, but let me explain what happens when you eat. So normally when you're eating your food, you're chewing it up, and then you have enzymes in your oral cavity here that are being released to start to break down this food stuff. But as this is being broken down, and we call this the bolus, so this food stuff's being broken down. As it comes down your throat, down your esophagus, there's a little trap door that opens up to allow that food to then drop down on into the stomach. That trap door is there for a reason, to prevent things getting down in the stomach that shouldn't be there. But once that trap door opens and the food now goes into the stomach releases stomach acid to start to break down that food stuff. Now, the stomach is the most acidic part of your body. The pH is something like 2.1. I mean, it's very acidic. The rest of the body is alkaline. So your stomach stays separated from the rest of the body, because if it didn't, that stomach acid would eat you up internally. And that's what you feel up here in your esophagus when that stomach acid leaks back up. But it's not that you have too much stomach acid, it's that you don't have enough. And here's why. When that food comes down and goes into your stomach, the trap doors open, the stomach now releases acid, hydrochloric acid, to start to break down that food. So then it can be pushed on into the small intestine, and the pancreas releases enzymes to start to break down the proteins and the fats. And then the good stuff the body uses, and the bad stuff continues on through the digestive system into the colon, and you void that out. But what should happen when that food hits the stomach acid is released. A little bit of that stomach acid will leak back up to the doorway. And when it does, it signals the doorway to close. That's the mechanism, that's the trigger for the mechanism that door to close, is the stomach acid coming back up into the esophagus, causing that trap door to close. And what happens for the majority of the people who start to experience reflux, heartburn, GERD, these type of things, is that they don't have enough stomach acid. They have just enough that it leaks up into the esophagus so they can feel that burning sensation, but they don't have enough stomach acid to make the doorway close. And so they're told, if you have too much stomach acid, and they start taking Prilosec or Nexium or some proton pump inhibitor or Tums or whatever it is they're taking, stomach blocking medicine, which actually creates more problems. If you're taking stomach acid blocking medication, then you run the risk of developing a B12 deficiency, because without that stomach acid, the body can't absorb B12. Same thing for calcium. It's kind of ironic that they tell you to take Tums because it has calcium in there. But when you block that stomach acid, you can't absorb calcium. So now you're at risk of developing osteoporosis, osteopenia, some of these bone whittling diseases. What I want to encourage you to do, whether you're taking a proton pump inhibitor, antacid medication over the counter or prescription, or you're just experiencing some bloating, some gas, some indigestion, some IBS symptoms, or you have reflux, GERD, or heartburn, I want to encourage you to do a trial of taking over-the-counter pancreatic enzymes. You can get these at any health food store. You can get them online. You can get them at my store, essentialtherastore.com. But these digestive enzymes do just what the name is. They help you digest your food, which prevents that stomach acid from leaking back up into the esophagus. And more importantly, they digest that food so it can be broken down properly, and you can utilize the nutrients from the foods that you're eating. It's really, it's important You are what you eat. That's true. But it's just as important. You are what you digest. And if you're having issues with not being able to digest the foods that you're eating, and you're getting the symptoms from that, these reflux symptoms, then it's important that you help the body out by taking digestive enzymes. There's really 2 or 3 different kinds of digestive enzymes. There's pancreatic digestive enzymes, which is what I like because it's a lazy man way to make sure you're digesting your food. And then there's betaine hydrochloric acid digestive enzymes. And then there's vegetarian enzymes. So let me talk about those 3 real quick. Once the stomach acid is released, it's breaking down the food. Now that also triggers sodium bicarbonate to be released into the small intestine. So as the food is pushed into the small intestine to be further broken down, mainly the fat and the protein, the pancreas, one of the organs in your body, releases pancreatic digestive enzymes to start to break down the rest of this food stuff. What that's triggered by the stomach acid, though. Stomach acid triggers sodium bicarbonate to be released to buffer the small intestine from the acidic food that's coming in there and to release the digestive enzymes. So the lazy way to do it is just to take a pancreatic enzyme and you're making sure you're digesting your food. Now, another option is to take betaine with hydrochloric acid, another over-the-counter supplement you can find anywhere. But when you eat a meal, you take betaine, and that's acidic. So you start to build back the acidity in your stomach. And over a period of time, that acid will start to become, will be optimized. So now when you're eating your food, you can see that you have enough stomach acid to start to digest your food. The problem with taking hydrochloric acid, we call it betaine hydrochloric acid, is that for some individuals, especially those who have been on proton pump inhibitors or on antacids for a number of years, what happens is over the years, eventually that trap door just stays open. And because of that, you get a lot of stomach acid, even though you have a little, but you get a lot of the little that's left leaking back up into the esophagus that can create erosion in your esophagus. And they can, cause you to be at risk for a thing called Barrett's sarcoma, which is a dangerous cancer. So if you've been taking antacids for a number of years, it's probably better to not take any betaine hydrochloric acid because it can make that worse, and just take the pancreatic digestive enzymes. Now, the pancreatic digestive enzymes are an animal source. That's where they come from. And so some individuals have, they have a problem with, any kind of animal derived ingredients. I totally understand that. So you can try to take a vegetarian, a plant-based enzyme, and sometimes they work as well, but oftentimes they don't. So, but you can certainly try that. The plant-based digestive enzymes do not create acid, but they do help to start to break down that food. So then it can go into the small intestine, be broken down the pancreatic enzymes. So there's 3 different options there. And you can learn more about this at my website, superhealthyhuman.com. You can learn more about the role that digestive enzymes play in helping us look and feel healthy. And you can see the protocols that I recommend to help you if you do have reflux, GERD, heartburn, irritable bowel, some of these GI problems that can be so frustrating to have to deal with on a day-to-day basis. But learn more about these protocols at superhealthyhuman.com.